Hello, Oliver. Well, today we are back at one of my favorite beaches. This is the old airport beach, and we're in the area of the gardens. So I'm at a picnic table, and there's a path that goes all the way around. It's about about a quarter mile all the way to walk all the way around. Anyway, it's a nice little walk, and gardens and shade and some pretty flowers and stuff. It's all volunteers. All the flowers are taken care of by people who don't work here. So they spend their Saturdays and Sundays coming out to the gardens to make sure everything gets watered and trim up the plants if they need it and pull out the weeds. But we're not here to talk about the gardens, are we? We're here to talk about The Tale of Despero by Kate DiCamillo and illustrated by Timothy Basil Eyring. There we go. And we are on chapter 37 called A Small Taste. Chapter 37. She was asleep and dreaming of her mother, the queen, who was holding out a spoon to her and saying, "Taste this, my sweet pea, taste this, my darling, and tell me what you think." The princess leaned forward and sipped some soup from the spoon her mother held out to her. "Oh, Mama," she said, "it's wonderful. It's the best soup I've ever eaten." "Yes," said the queen, "it is wonderful, isn't it?" "May I have some more?" said the pea. "I gave you a small taste so that you would not forget," said her mother. "I gave you a small taste so that you would remember." "I want more." But as soon as the princess said this, her mother was gone. She disappeared, and the bowl and the soup spoon disappeared along with her. "Lost things," said the pea, "more lost things." And then she heard her name. She turned, happy, thinking her mother had come back. But the voice was not her mother's. The voice belonged to somebody else, and it was coming from someplace far away, and it was telling her to wake up, wake up. The pea opened her eyes and saw Miggery Sow standing over her bed, a knife in one hand and a candle in the other. "Mig?" "Gor," said Mig softly. "Say it," commanded Roscuro. Mig closed her eyes and shouted her piece. "If you does not want to get hurt, princess, you must come with me." "Whatever for?" said the princess in an annoyed tone. As I have noted before, the princess was not a person who was used to being told what to do. "What are you talking about?" Mig opened her eyes and shouted, "You got to come with me. So after we take some lessons, you some long lessons, and me some short ones, together way down in the deep downs, I can be you and you can be me." "No," shouted Roscuro from Mig's pocket. "No, no, you are doing it wrong." "Who said that?" "Your Highness," said Roscuro. "Oh, look, I have a visitor. Right there. He came to listen to the story. Hello." All right. "Your Highness," said Roscuro, and he crawled out from Mig's pocket and made his way up her shoulder and situated himself there. He laid his tail across her neck so to balance himself. "Your Highness," he said again, and he held the spoon. Raised the spoon slowly off his head and smiled, displaying his mouthful of truly hideous teeth. "I think it would be best if you do as Miggery Sow suggests. She is, as you can quite clearly see, in possession of a knife, a large knife, and she will, if pushed, use it." "This is ridiculous," the princess said. "Hey, buddy." "This is ridiculous," the princess said. "You can't threaten me. I'm a princess." "We," said Roscuro, "are all too aware of the fact of what you are. A knife, however, cares nothing for the fact that you are royalty. And you will bleed, I assume, just like any other human. The pea looked at Mig and smiled. The pea looked at Mig. Mig smiled. The knife glinted in the light of the candle. Mig, she said, her voice shaking the tiniest bit. I really do not think, said Roscuro, that Mig would need much persuasion to use that knife, Princess. She is a very dangerous individual and easily led. But we're friends, said the pea, aren't we, Mig? Eh? Said Mig. Trust me, said Roscuro, you are not friends, and I think it would be best if you addressed all of your communications to me, Princess. I am the one in charge here. Look at me. The pea looked right directly at the rat and at the spoon on his head. Her heart skipped one beat and then two. Do you know me, Princess? No, she said, lowering her head. I don't know you. But reader, she did know him. He was the rat who had fallen into her mother's soup, and he was wearing her dead mother's spoon on his head. The princess kept her head down. She concentrated on containing the rage that was leaping up inside of her. Look again, Princess, or do you not bear to look? Does it pain your royal sensibilities to rest your eyes on a rat? I don't know you, she said, and I'm not afraid to look at you. The pea raised her head slowly. Her eyes were defiant. She stared at the rat. Very well, said Roscuro. Have it your way. You do not know me. Nonetheless, you must do as I say, as my friend here has a knife. So get out of bed, Princess. We are going on a little journey. I would like it if you dressed in your loveliest gown, the one that you were wearing at a banquet not so long ago. See, here's Roscuro and Mig and the candle and the knife, and there's Princess hiding under the covers. And put on your crown, said Mig. Put that on your princess head. Yes, said Roscuro. Please, Princess, do not forget your crown. The pea, still staring at Roscuro, pushed the covers back and got out of bed. Move quickly, said Roscuro. We must make our little journey while it is still dark and while the rest of the castle sleeps on, ignorant, oh, so ignorant, I'm afraid, of your fate. The princess took a gown from her closet. Yes, said Roscuro to himself, that is the one, the very one. Look how it sparkles in the light. Lovely. I will need someone to do my buttons, said the princess as she stepped into the dress. Mig, you must help me. Little princess, said Roscuro, do you think that you can outsmart a rat? Our dear Miggery Sow will not lay down her knife, not even for a moment, will you, Miggery Sow? Because that might ruin your chances of becoming a princess, isn't that right? Gore, said Mig, that's right. And so while Mig had the knife pointed in the direction of the princess, the pea sat down and let the rat crawl over her back, doing her buttons up for her one by one. The princess held very still. The only movement she allowed herself was this. She licked her lips over and over again because she thought that she could taste the sweet saltiness of the soup that her mother had fed her in the dream. I've not forgotten, Mama, she whispered. I have not forgotten you. I have not forgotten soup. And so, that is the end of chapter 37. So how about that? The princess is kidnapped and wearing the same gown she wore on the night that her mother died. Her mother died, remember, when the rat fell out of the chandelier and into her bowl of soup. Her mother was so surprised that she had a heart attack and fell on the floor and died. Anyway, it's not looking good for the princess, is it? Roscuro's plan is coming together. And that's it for tonight. I hope you sleep well. And tomorrow, tomorrow is another fun day. I love you, Oliver. Take care. Bye-bye.